Hi, Cherie Hansen here. This is on my blog, cheriehansen.com, and it's kind of stumbling toward mindfulness practice. I'm getting more and more interested in just examining my own behavior to see what I can learn and teach to others. This one is called Relationship Dowry. I'm perennially curious. I move into areas of ignorance slowly, like water on clay, defining who I am and at the same time desiring to be more at ease, more at home in life, more at home in my body, keeps me constantly seeking. The last binge of understanding came when I stumbled upon Esther Perel. I had had no previous contact with her work, but after viewing one YouTube video, I binged. When a starving person sits down to a plate at first, he or she eats very slowly. So I watched the one video, I took notes, I shared the lessons on social media, and I slept on it. And then the next morning, I spent 4 hours just learning from her. The dissatisfaction which is central in my life is and always has been the deep well of loneliness. So many times I have read that an individual's social connections are the greatest predictor for longevity and contentment. I read the statement in the writings of various researchers in the various formations. I look at everything I can find to give me information. I took notes for years. I got the concept. But what had always blocked me suddenly came to shining clarity as I listened to Esther. She talked about the dowry of relationships, the inheritance of ability to live in a kind, loving, and intimate way with others is the legacy each of us carries from our family's experiences. My legacy was that those who were closest to me did the greatest damage. To be within an arm's reach was damaging. To be dependent on love to a parent who broke my bones and another one who blamed me for angering her partner left me feeling only safe when I isolated myself. I escaped to the world of books. I saw my parents form friendships which were, to be quite frank, very weird. The Fat family with boils on their butts came to our house for my mother, the nurse, to inject them with penicillin. The woman who sat at our dining room table telling my mother about all of the ways that we, the Coach family, were lower status than her family was another example. Her daughter got awards. The mother had a new watch. See it? See it? Then there was the hairdresser who hated her husband. She would show up when she had a truckload of stories about what an abysmal failure he was as a man. She marked the sides of all the containers in the house to make sure the children were not taking any food she had not specifically given out to them. And then there was my mother's family, the brother who showed up to borrow $4,000 from my mom. I had to listen for years about how he took her money. The sister who stood me next to her naked in the shower and scrubbed my hair with some type of acid-like soap that stung my eyes. When I cried, she told me what a baby I was. The other 3 siblings I only saw once, thankfully. So the script that I inherited was that friends are always in an unequal relationship. One is the status person and the other one sits meekly while being bullied. Oh, that is the way you be a friend, I thought. Smile and take the nasty comments. Nothing can hurt me. And then at school, I learned that my vocabulary, the way I spoke, would cause others to gather around me and kick me while telling me I was some kind of monster of arrogance. My dowry of relationships is now the hope chest that I am opening. I am taking out each experience and I'm looking at it. To be close is to be betrayed. To be close is to inevitably let in pain. To be open and honest is to attract rejection. The results are so built into my mind habits that I'm quite impressed with the strength of them. I dislike eating with others because my father beat me at the table. My mother force-fed me in order to make me fat and not competitive with her as the beautiful one. I dislike riding in a car with someone because it means I can't escape. I'm trapped. My father had me sit where he could reach around and strike my face. Groups of people cause me to feel like a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I am watching my tail and ready to move should the person become unmindfully cruel. I will not go into an environment with alcohol, the loss of control, the verbal jabs that passes humor, the group decision to choose one person out to humiliate inevitably happens in the presence of alcohol. I no longer wish to be a witness to this behavior. To see others demean and be demeaned causes me physical pain. The inheritance of distrust goes back at least to my grandparents. Their children suffered from the experience that the parents had to endure. In their social interactions, there was a wary circling and a ritual that I liken to two people about to engage in a knife fight who are moving around looking for an opening. The watchfulness of defense and protection was the overriding necessity in both of my parents' families and my inheritance. So my dowry of relationships is that in order to have a close relationship, one must endure being hurt, betrayed, disrespected. Inevitably, there is the ultimate price to pay. I get the same feeling when I watch film noir movies or a detective show. Cynicism is the ultimate armor. I am sitting with this new clarity of information and letting myself feel into it, realize it. I do not see myself as a victim or as lacking social skills. I see myself as merely human. What I do know now is that the inheritance of experiences will always script the lives we live until we clearly see the source of our decisions. There is a time to stop and sit. There is a time to forgive ourselves for not supplying the necessity of life to ourselves. There is a time to simply see ourselves as a vulnerable entity who is on a journey. I am grateful to the hours I spent listening to Esther Perel. She showed up. She showed up because I was ready to hear her. Thank you.